Welcome back, YouTubers, gamers, to another episode of, I don't know, Common Sense Grifting. Today we're talking about this story. Anyway, yeah, one of America's jets got shot down over Iran, flying at low altitude. And I think one of the weapons co-pilot is missing in action. I think I might be wrong, but at least from what I last heard, one of the two people manning it was missing in action, and the other they're still searching for even right now in a nighttime operation as of this recording, right? From what I last heard. So, let's see what our most reliable, unbiased news source is telling us. Wait, what? Oh, okay, they already rescued one. Okay. I hadn't seen that. You know, one thing I will give credit to the... Oh, fuck. This has been muted. I'll play that back at a fun speed. But one thing I can give credit to the American military for is not Hannibal Directive. Doing the Hannibal Directive, which is the Israeli military doctrine where they just try to kill the soldier or the combatant so that they can't be taken hostage as a bargaining chip. You know, they employed that on October 7th, quite famously. Yoav Gallant, the former military secretary of Israel, admitted to it. You know, but there was also video evidence of Israel committing the Hannibal Directive as early as October, actually, if you were willing to scrape Twitter for those kinds of accounts that post that stuff. Anyway.
And welcome back. Night has fallen in Iran, where military rescuers are frantically searching for a pilot from a U.S. F-15E shot down over Iran. One pilot has already been rescued.
Or I guess it's probably getting posted on Telegram first, and then the Twitter users repost it. I don't know. I'm not on Telegram. I don't want to catch a case for being in one of these, you know, accidentally wandering into like one of these fucking, you know, gross ass Telegram group chats just to stay updated. I don't know. I'm not at that level. You know.
Safely, and now the search is on for his co-pilot. Let's go ahead and bring in Mike Sorelli, retired Navy SEAL officer. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today. Let me get your thoughts on the happenings of the day. This F-15E fighter jet shot down over southern Iran.
Well, thank you, Anita. I think I can provide some color on some of the previous comments from your other contributors. You know, one, the discussion about the pilots landing together. Guys, with parachute operations, there's a lot of variables that can come into play. And if we go back to 1995, Scott O'Grady in Bosnia, he actually pulled the override handle, opening his parachute at too high of an altitude, which is then subject to winds. It also creates a large signature, which the enemy can see. So if there was any separation in altitude between the openings of this parachute, they're subject to the winds, which could push them in different directions and create distance. That's not to bring into account the geography, the terrain. They could have landed on opposite sides of a major terrain feature and then started moving in different directions. Additionally, you know, the question with regards to the family and when they'll be notified, I can't tell you when, but I'll tell you why they haven't. You don't want the John Doe family to be notified in Omaha, Nebraska, and then all of a sudden the local affiliate is covering the story and giving the identity of the pilot or the weapons systems officer who's still on the ground. You don't want them giving that identity away. So we want to keep limited information to make sure that we're protecting the identity of these individuals that are considered isolated personnel at this time.
Mike, can you tell me a little bit about what the sort of search and rescue would look like, particularly in a hostile environment like this?
Go back
Ben,
to
that's a
your
great
own
question.
country, Brit.
And so at this point,
You Anglo. Anyway.
let's bring in the human factor.
Whenever I hear
you
one
have
of
the
these
10
fucking Brits on Fox News, I'm like, how dare you? How dare you come here to do fucking fascist propaganda, and it's not even for a news network in your own country. Fuck you, you know?
Dan Rooney who talked about every 18 months these pilots go through proficiency training. That's 18 months. So are they competent? Most likely not. Are they proficient? We hope so. We just need them to make tactically sound decisions. So now the lead of this operation is one of the finest, most capable and professional special operations communities in the world, known as the...
It's the same way I feel about Tom Holland playing Spider-Man. I'm like, whatever. Never mind, I'm barely even listening to this guy. He's just doing military jargon stuff.
Air Force Pararescue. Their motto is so that others may live, and they consider this a no-fail mission, meaning they're willing to put their lives at risk and possibly give their lives to bring these men and women home.
Hey,
So
better
there will be a
than the
contingent
Israeli
of Air
diaper
Force
force.
pararescuemen who are skilled in recovery of personnel, high-angle rescue, as well as consider them like battlefield surgeons.
You know?
And they will most likely have a security element of special operations with them, whether that's Navy SEALs, Green Berets, MARSOC, or even U.S. Marines. So they are hunting, searching with full passion, dedication, and persistence to identify the location of this combat systems officer and bring him back to safety or her back to safety as quickly as possible.
Mike, you mentioned this is now the singular focus of the military to find this person. How does this affect the morale of those?
They must have a lot of intel. They could potentially surrender to the Iranians if that's the case, right? I don't know. Or it's just such an embarrassment if we lose this guy that they're so afraid, like, you know, of losing this guy as a prisoner of war to Iran. Because it'll be like a propaganda humiliation defeat. You know, a humiliating propaganda defeat if Iran takes care of this guy and he comes back to the States, you know, says like something like, hey, the Iranians, they were actually kind of nice. They fed me and kept me healthy and didn't immediately shoot me, even though I shot at them or something. You know, I don't know. Kind of like those Israeli hostages, like that grandma who came back. Or that dude who dapped up Hamas in the hostage exchange. You know? I don't know. That's probably why he's such a important target for the or important objective.
Men and women who are in this fight, who have been in this fight for the last month or so, how, if at all, does it affect their thinking as they're going about this mission?
Actually, it brings in the very human factor to this. I would say it creates a resolve and a dedication that you've never seen in mankind. You know, we live by a motto that no one is left behind. This is what we live for, to make sure that we can bring...
Israel certainly does not live by that motto, but I guess you can at least give the U.S. military some credit for that, despite, you know... I don't know. Despite the horrible things they do around the world.
Bring our men and women home. So they are galvanized, they are united and aligned, and they have a singular focus. Right now, this is all that matters.
At least the grunts have that mindset.
We will find them, and we will bring them home.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys.
Let's go ahead and bring in F-18 combat fighter pilot and Top Gun graduate and commercial airline pilot, Captain Tom.
It's Top Gun, dude. Yeah, bro. This is just like Top Gun. All the pilot has to do is find an Iranian military base, steal the... I'm stealing Hassan's joke because I saw it on Instagram. But steal the F-14 fighter jet and fly out, and he's home free. Yeah. Steal the F-14s that were left over from when we gave them to the Shah. You know?
O'Lorik. Tom.
If we, assuming we haven't already destroyed all of Iran's military planes. I don't even know if that's the case or not. I assume maybe they have a couple left and hiding.
Great to have you join the program today. What were your thoughts when you heard about this incident earlier today?
Not particularly surprised. The IRGC has demonstrated a lot of resilience. And when our civilian leadership talks about complete suppression and ownership of the airspace, that may apply to the larger systems, S-300s, the S-400s, but the shoulder-fired and truck-mounted heat-seeking electro-optically guided missile systems are very, very capable as we get closer to the ground for ordnance delivery.
I guarantee you 99% of the Fox News audience had no idea what that means, what he just said there. I don't either. I'm not a military autist, you know, but like can y'all whatever. These guys are so fucking stupid and like think they're smart, you know. They're just jargon their way into, you know, tricking people into thinking they're smart, but we'll see.
In certain,
I think what he means by that is like Iran has some like infrared systems that can easily target low-flying aircraft. And that's how it got shot down, because they were flying low to avoid radar detection, I think. Anyway,
different types of missions for
like in the Top Gun movie. You know, if you saw that, where they were flying low through the mountains.
Ordnance delivery, you're going to be exposed to that. So this is very much Mortal Kombat. We should expect these sorts of things going on going
it's
forward.
A video game, dude.
You can't eliminate all the threats. And so that's where we are today when we saw that.
Dude, even these fucking boomer-ass military guys are thinking about this shit in like video game terms. Oh my god, America is so fucking cooked.
I'm not surprised by this. And I think your viewers should be ready to expect more of this. And our air crews are well aware of this. They're going to fly appropriately. But the most important thing to realize is the IRGC is not done fighting. We can't seem to stop.
Yeah, I think the air crews are definitely risking a lot by being out there and searching for this guy, considering Iran has shown capabilities to shoot down even our most advanced fighter jets over and over again.
Stop their hypersonic missiles, nor can we completely stop their drones.
I think this is just the first time where a fighter, like even the Bahrainians shot down a fighter jet. But this is just the first pilot that's actually landed on Iranian soil after getting shot down so far in the conflict that we know of, at least. Because they also could be hiding. Well, I guess Iran probably wouldn't hide if they had other pilots that were shot down over Iranian soil. But, you know, the U.S. is hiding the military or the casualty counts. And, you know, it's pretty unclear as to how many people have been wounded or killed due to, like, Iranian missile barrages and whatnot. And the Shahada drone barrages.
And we need to proceed accordingly and adjust our expectations accordingly.
Well, Captain, if this was a lower-level air defense system, can you talk perhaps about some of the evasive maneuvers that a pilot might have to take if they were fired upon?
That's a great question, John. So Yeah, so assume you're being shot at, and when you come off target, you're going to have to operate the aircraft at appropriate tactical speeds. You're going to have to maneuver in 3 dimensions constantly under high G forces, and you're going to have your countermeasures ready to go or deploy them preemptively based on the threat. Now, I will tell you that the heat-seeking threat is easier to defend against than the electro-optical, and these smokeless motors coming out of these new technology missiles make things a lot more difficult for the crews. So they just need to assume they're being shot at. And we've seen the losses adding up. So this is a very real fight. This is Mortal Kombat. People need to understand we're not done with this. The IRGC.
Well, I guess he means Mortal Kombat more so in like military terms. Maybe I misunderstood what he was saying because I'm not familiar with the military jargon.
Tom, do you expect that this second...
But I don't... Iran's definitely not going to try to kill this guy on sight. And the only people that would are people who are criminal elements that are trying to sell off his body to the Iranian government, or I don't know, some kind of like CIA hired terrorist cell that just wants, I don't know who would shoot this guy on sight, except for a Salafist style group,
Pilot will be rescued in the next, say, day or two?
As your previous, that's another great question, Sandra.
Yeah, I think Iran would probably have the capability of tracking him down within a day or two. I don't know. So.
Your previous guest pointed out, the special operations forces that go in and do this combat search and rescue, they're geared up and ready for it. But they have to be careful because now there's, with all this media attention, with where the other, and there's even video, citizens on the ground, local population are videotaping the H-60 aircraft that are in the search and rescue. So they know the area, they know where they're going to be looking. There is the bounty that's posted. I think the pilot would be worth more to the IRGC or the weapons system officer if they're alive.
Oh, really? Really? You mean a dead body that couldn't tell them anything is worth less to the Iranians than an alive person who could give them all their military knowledge, all the military knowledge they possess? And as a pilot, you would certainly possess a lot of potentially classified information about the U.S. Air Force, Anyway.
So at this point, the pilot or the weapons system officer, whichever crew member it is,
or at least a standard amount of information that Iranians might not have.
Doing their best to escape and evade. They could be injured. They may have to go into.
It's dude, this guy's still operating. The only reason he said that is because he's still operating on the racist assumption that Iranians are just savage brutes who don't have tactical or logical thinking capabilities.
Hiding. That's kind of mountainous terrain or even urban terrain. If you land in the wrong spot, you hit a fence, you hit a rock, you break your leg. We don't know what's going on. So as a previous guest pointed out, we keep these crews in our thoughts and prayers, but recognize we are at war. This is combat. There will be losses, and we need to adjust our expectations with the understanding that we're doing the best we can. But again, keep in mind that the enemy or our adversary in this case gets 50% of the say on any of these problems. And I would like to point out that the IRGC is stating that the shoot down was over Keshem Island. So
it's over an island?
That's it. So Keshem could be, no telling where it's at.
Yeah.
Wait, what is Keshem? Oh, okay, so he's stuck on an island archipelago sort of thing, or a delta, river delta. So this is like a wetland area, sort of. This is what he's saying, where the guy was shot down. I mean, I guess unless the guy starts swimming out to sea, you know, I think, you know, Iran probably has a pretty good chance of catching him before the US. If this is actually where he was shot down, I don't know. That could be a misdirection, too. Potentially, because this guy is, you know, he is Air Force. So he could just be, like, trying to misdirect with that information.
Well, Captain, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it, and thanks for your expertise. Top Gun pilot right there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, we're Charity Water. If we lost you at Charity, we get it. Give us a moment to change your mind.
Well, some breaking news now. A senior White House official telling Fox News that President Trump's national security team is inside the West Wing right now as the search for a second jet crew member downed over Iran continues. Let's get back to the chief now.
Trump doesn't get to go golfing this weekend. No! And it's his favorite time to go golfing, too, on a Christian holiday when all his cult members will be off of work and willing and ready to praise him. You know?
National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin. She's live for us in Washington with the latest. Jen.
Trace, well, since we last spoke, we have confirmed that there was enemy fire during that search and rescue mission after the downing of the F-15E Strike Eagle fighter jet. One crew member, as we've mentioned, has been rescued. The second, there's still a search underway for that second crew member. That's why details are very sensitive at this point, and there are some details we know that we are not putting out because of concern for the security of that downed pilot, the weapons services officer, systems officer, excuse me, who is still on the ground in Iran. So those search and rescue operations are taking place. It is now dark in Iran. We understand that the F-15E was shot down late Thursday night, so it was dark at the time, and it was still.
Okay, so he was shot down overnight, and they're still searching for him a day later then, right? That's what I'm hearing. Because tonight, right now, it's night in Iran. It's nighttime in Iran, so he was shot down. And the picture of the ejection seat I've seen was taken, or they've probably already shown it on here. But yeah, these pictures of the ejection were taken in the daytime, so it's already been like almost 24 hours. And they still haven't found one guy, one of the pilots. Unless they're just sending Iran on a wild goose chase and they found both. I don't know, that could be the case.
Still early hours of Friday morning,
conspiracy brain,
before sun had risen in Iran. We've seen some images of some of the remains or remnants of that F-15E Strike Eagle from some of the painting on the outside of some of that. What you're seeing right now on screen, it suggests that this F-15E was based out of Lakenheath in the UK. Those F-15s have been forward-based and have been operating over Iran for the past 35 days.
I was struck down in this area. Wait, Ketchum Island. I need to zoom out. Not sure where it is on a map. I'm no geography expert, okay? Wait, what? Why are they highlight? Okay, so if he was shot down over here, is there another island area that... I don't know. Maybe that's a different island by a similar name. No, they just don't pronounce it right because it's in Persian or Farsi, I mean.
There are other indications that some other U.S. aircraft have taken fire in the last 24 hours, but we don't have confirmation of those reports at this point in time. But all of this painting a rather difficult picture in terms of ongoing potential negotiations with Iran. This is a big propaganda win for the Iranians.
The brain, dude, from Pinky and the Brain.
Making the most of it in their state-run television, even putting out a reward and doubling that reward for the downed weapons systems operator.
Jen, any of your sources find it unusual that 13,000 sorties into this war, that finally one is brought down? I mean, we've been hearing that their resources, their weapons have been depleted. Just bad luck, or what do we...
You're hearing that, but that's not what anybody with 2 cents is saying. That's just the State Department lying to cover their ass, buddy, and you're falling for it.
What are we bringing this up to?
Well, it's more than bad luck. It is an indication that all it takes is one good shot to bring down a U.S. warplane. It is impossible to suppress all of the weapons that are out there. This is a very large country, and I think that is why there is a hesitation for...
Yeah, they've only, like, the only military capabilities they've destroyed, like, look how big Iran is, okay? This is Iraq, okay? We lost there. Here's Afghanistan. We lost there, but I mean, the goals there weren't to win a military campaign. It was just to, like, destroy the country, extract oil, and, I don't know, at least in Afghanistan, make a lot of heroin. In the case of the U.S. military campaign in Afghanistan, we were hooking up all the pedophiles and heroin addicts with our stuff. In Iran, you know, country twice the size, at least twice the size of Iraq, just eyeballing it, you know. And super mountainous, as you can see by the topographical, you know, very rugged and mountainous region. Like, the only military capabilities from my understanding that we've been able to take out are on the western and southern side of Iran, because we don't have any assets in this area, in Turkmenistan. We have Turkey, and yeah, that's about it. Like, we're coming in from the southwest into Iran. Tehran is in the north of the country, so who knows what else is out here. You know, Iran knows probably, but anyway.
Going forward through the Strait of Hormuz, because the Iranians still have a lot of missiles.
Great reporting as always. Jennifer Griffin, live for us in D.C. Jennifer, thank you.
Be sure to like and...
Okay. That's a long enough time of me rambling about shit I barely know about, right? Okay. So, I just thought it was a fun story. Yeah, and if you enjoyed my, my very... I don't know. What's the right word? Unprofessional ramblings about Iran and the F-15 fighter pilot. Like and subscribe now. I need to raise those. I need those numbers up. Helps boost me in the algo. I don't know. I'd prefer to start streaming. Try to catch me when I'm on Twitch. You know? Anyway. Peace and love. Like and subscribe. Bye-bye.